You see, we all have the same amount of days, hours, and minutes, yet successful people just get that much more done and therefore accelerate both their professional and personal lives. And well, it's because they employ better habits, better frameworks, better hacks. Today I have a really important training on 9 productivity hacks for a successful 2023. Have you ever asked yourself why successful people can just get so much more done? You see, we all have the same amount of days, hours, and minutes, yet successful people just get that much more done and therefore accelerate both their professional and personal lives. And well, it's because they employ better habits, better frameworks, better hacks. And I'm going to be sharing with you 9 of my best productivity hacks. And it's really important for me. I have 2 businesses, soon to be 3 businesses. I have 3 kids. So it's so important that I utilize these frameworks so each and every one of those businesses can grow whilst I have more and more time with my family. So let's dive into it. Number 1 is it most definitely is the most important, and that is the lead formula. You need to regularly do the lead formula, and I'd say it's quarterly. Now, you may be asking, what is the lead formula, Dan? Well, the lead formula is an acronym. It stands for list, eliminate, automate, delegate. So let's go through that right now. So every 3 months, you need to conduct an activity audit. So you need to look at everything that you're doing and you need to write it down in 15-minute increments. And I'm not just talking about your professional life, I'm also talking about your personal life as well. It's like a food diary. You immediately have all this awareness once you write down what you're eating. Similarly, once you write down what you're doing, you'll identify where you have time wasters. And so that's the first thing we do is we list everything. And I would say choose 3 days and do it over the course of 3 days and make sure those days are different. The next thing we want to do is we want to eliminate absolutely anything and everything that doesn't move our life or business forward. So through that activity awareness, you may see that you scroll way too much. You may see that you take way too long in transitions between activities and projects. You may see that you are spending too much time in meal breaks. And so we need to eliminate absolutely everything. And I need you to be ruthless on this. If it doesn't move you, your life, your business forward, then simply get rid of it. And that's the question you need to be asking as you filter every single one of those activities in the activity audit itself. So number 1 is eliminate. Number 2 is automate. There is so much that you are no doubt doing right now manually that could be automated. It might be some of your lead follow-up process. I know when a lead opts in for any of our businesses, we have multiple emails and text messages and communications that make the conversion and sales easy. It may be part of the lead nurturing process where they've inquired with you, but they haven't quite got that relationship with the brand yet. And so there may be automation that can help you do so. It may be part of your onboarding process. So when you bring in a new member, when you bring in a new client, they immediately feel connected to the business itself. So you want to install automation into your business because I have no doubt that you're doing lots of things that can be easily automated. Checking Facebook leads can easily be just sent straight to your email or a Google spreadsheet or a CRM. These are very simple examples. So that's the automate. And now the biggest one is delegation. And essentially you want to delegate both your personal life, all right, and your professional life. Tasks from both. So let's start with the personal life. There may be things right now that you're doing personally that, again, do not move your life forward. You don't particularly enjoy. They drain you of time and energy that can be easily delegated to someone else. And I know this is something that I've done a lot within my personal life. I don't really like cleaning. So I delegate cleaning. Now, some of you may say, Dan, that costs money. Absolutely it does. But if I pay a cleaner $25 an hour, I know that my time is worth significantly more than that. So I've just bought back time. I delegate my pool and cleaning of my pool and balancing all that out. I delegate my garden. I delegate, all the lawns and everything that comes with that. Any flat pack furniture that I get, I delegate that. Any handyman activities, I delegate. And every time I do so, I have more time, more energy to either focus on my family or the things that I do best. So have a look at your personal life. Secondly, have a look at your professional life. Really, if it doesn't fit one of these 5 core activities, the task should be delegated, right? Thinking, so you as the entrepreneur, the owner, the founder, one of the most valuable things you can do is high-level strategic deep thinking. Next is leading, so leading your team, the mission, the vision, and the community. 3 is day-to-day management of that team, so they perform at a really high level. Number 4 is business development, so anything marketing and sales oriented. Then number 5 is the technician part. Now, I don't like to rule this out in entirety. Yes, you need to delegate parts of it, but essentially this is what lights you up, and this is what led you to, being, say, a personal trainer in the first place, was being with clients actually really lit you up. So I don't want to take it away, but you want to do less of. If it's not one of those 5 activities, so it's things like bookkeeping and administration, all of those things should be delegated to somebody else. And I'm going to talk about delegation in more depth, in more detail in one of our next productivity hacks. So that's productivity hack number 1. Number 2 is you need to manage your energy as well as time. A lot of people talk about time management, extremely important, but also you need to identify when you best operate from an energy management perspective. There are certain periods of the day where you're going to be thinking really clearly, where you're going to have a lot of energy, where you just operate at your best and highest level. During those periods, we want to make sure that you're doing the tasks that move your professional life the furthest. So it might be copywriting, it might be content creation, it might be writing up a sales script, it might be writing up proposals, it might be looking at business contracts. It's the areas that require the most amount of brain power. And so we need to have a look at those and prioritize those for magic time, because if you're going out exercising in those times, coaching, training sessions, doing some laborious or tedious admin, then you're missing these magic spots and you're not going to get as much done overall. So number 2, manage your energy as well as your time. Number 3, accept that you can't do everything. Now, I found this so helpful for me personally because I'm an ambitious guy. I want to do a lot. All right, I want to deliver our programs in many areas of the world. I want to write another book. I want to transform people through live events everywhere. And personally, I also want to travel the world and I want to do lots of different active things. This actually creates a kind of overwhelm and anxiety because there's just so much that you want to do. And so what's been really liberating for me is accepting that I can't do everything. This stops me procrastinating, but it also puts me in the present. It says, wherever you are, Dan, this is what you've chosen to do over everything else. So let's make sure that we do the absolute best job here and now. Doesn't make me any less ambitious, but what it does do is it removes that overwhelm and anxiety and helps me become more discerning and more present. So that is number 3. Number 4 is to use voice memos and Loom. Now, if you don't know what Loom is, it's a Google Chrome app. It's a screen recording app, and we utilize this for creating content. We utilize this for doing client feedback, and it's just a really effective and efficient way of communicating. Far quicker than writing, far quicker than emails and messages going back and forth. You can deliver so much more in a smaller amount of time, and therefore you can close those communication loops really quickly. Number 5 is leverage artificial intelligence. AI is taking the world all over right now. You would have seen ChatGPT and the amazing things that this program can do. And whilst AI is phenomenal, there are limitations. but at the same time, it can make you more productive. It can help you have more success in 2023. So the way that we want to leverage AI is particularly for content creation, content ideas. What I would still highly recommend is that your content is original stories and anecdotes and case studies, but leverage AI to, really come up with some great ideas and help fill in those big overriding concepts. It's also really good for market research, campaign optimization, and it's going to enable you to get a lot more done. We use it for email subject lines, things like this, podcast titles, video titles. It does a lot of our thinking for us, and so you need to leverage it. Number 6 in our productivity hacks to get more done and have a highly successful 2023 is global outsourcing. Now, this one's hardly new, but it is so important. Right now, if you're doing a lot of your messaging, if you're doing a lot of content creation, website updates, a lot of client support, admin, then that stuff can be easily delegated to someone overseas at a fraction of the cost. I've got 2 amazing full-time virtual assistants that reside in the Philippines. They're absolutely incredible, and they do so much for me and my businesses. And what that enables me to do is A, deliver a better product, but B, have a lot more time. And so everything that you'll see from our social media strategy to a lot of our branding to a lot of our client contact has been done offshore. If you don't know where to start in this place, a couple of places that are just amazing, Upwork and Fiverr. Anything that's on that activity audit that we did in number 1 through the lead formula, have a look at that and say, can this be globally outsourced? If I was to give really good instructions, would this be able to be executed overseas? Because again, I'm buying back more time. Number 7 is you need to optimize yourself. All right, so your habits, your daily and weekly habits will go a long way to how much productivity and output you get on any given day and week. And what I'm talking about there is I'm talking about your sleep. So you need to prioritize. You need to make sure that you've got really good sleep hygiene. And what I mean by that is turning off electronics, an hour before you go to bed, turning off lights. It means actually decompressing. It means going to bed at the same time every night. The next one would be in nutrition, making sure that you've got fuel for the body that actually really serves the body. We're not just having caffeine and sugar, so we're going up and down all the time, but rather we've got, a really good mix of protein, fats, and lots of whole foods. We want to make sure that we're hydrating and having at least 3 liters of water every single day, and we want to make sure that we're getting some sun and movement. Now, what I like to do is I like to tie a lot of these things together. And for example, I want to make sure that I'm getting some movement. I'm also getting a social side of things. I'm getting some great nutrition, and I'm getting some sun. So I'll go out for a run with a friend. We'll then have a quick dip in the water, or we'll have an amazing lunch. We'll socialize. And therefore, I've been really time efficient and effective of getting all the things that help me be at an optimal state and get more out of myself. Next one is plan your days and weeks in advance. If you're diving into your week and you haven't already done your weekly planning, then you're already one step behind everybody else. You're one step behind your competition and you're playing catch up. It's reactive, not proactive. So I recommend on a Saturday or Sunday, spend 30 minutes mapping out your week. What are the key objectives we want to achieve? There should be 3 core key objectives. Then you're going to set a theme for every single day, what you want to accomplish and achieve. And you want to make sure that everything is in your diary. If it's not in the diary, then it's not going to happen. All right, so that's planning your week. Next thing you need to do is you need to plan your day in advance. Now, what that I mean by that is you're not allowed to finish up for the day until you've planned your next day. And so what that allows you to do is hit the ground running on the next day itself. It means that you've got momentum. You know exactly what you're doing when you're doing it. But what you also do is you do a brain dump. And so you get everything out of your head so you're not ruminating at night. So you're not having poor sleep. And so we get it out of your head and then you get to work. And then the last habit that's going to help you have more success, more productivity in 2023 is time chunking. You see, a task will always swell to the time we allocate. And so we want to use Parkinson's law here. We want to set strict time limits and focus on entirely that task, nothing else. So do not disturb us on the phone. We've got email shut down. We've got a really clean environment. We've locked the door so nobody's walking in, and we have undivided focus on that task. And then we're not allowed to move on until that time limit's done. All right? And that way, we're not having leakages left, right, and center because you're responding to messages, notifications, people coming in and out. But we also, because of the deadlines, will get it done far quicker. So there you have it. There we have 9 productivity hacks so you can get more done in 2023, so you can have more success. I'd love to continue the conversation. Let me know which one of those 9 was most insightful, most powerful for you. Thank you so much. If you got value from this, you know what to do. If you're watching on YouTube, you've got to give us a like and you've got to subscribe. If you're listening to the podcast, please subscribe to the podcast. We are on a mission to help more people, and that only happens through your support. Appreciate you so much. Let's go and get it done.